Hello and welcome. Today we're doing a question from LeetCode 75. It's called the longest zigzag path in a binary tree. So what are we being asked? You are given the root of a binary tree. A zigzag path for a binary tree is defined as follows. Choose any node in the tree and a direction, right or left. If the current direction is right, move to the right child of the current node. Otherwise, move to the left. Change the direction from right to left or from left to right, and repeat the second, third steps until you can't move in the tree. Zigzag length is defined as the number of nodes visited minus 1. A single node has a length of 0. Return the longest zigzag path contained in that tree. Now, example 1, what is the longest zigzag path in this example? It's right over here. We have 4 nodes, but the path we've zigzagged through is 3, so our output is going to be 3. And example 2, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a zigzag path of 4. Example 3, we just have the root node. So since we've never hit another node to form that zigzag path, our output is going to be 0. Okay, so what are we being asked? We're given a tree and we want to find the longest zigzag path in that tree. Like always, we're going to start off with an example. We want to figure out how we ourselves are going to find the longest zigzag path in a tree. So our logic becomes straightforward, and then we can go ahead and code this up. So in the very beginning, we know if we just have a root node, our current zigzag path is going to be 0, right? We just have that one node. We haven't made a path yet. So up until this point, the longest path has been 0. Now, if we go either right or left, either way, we're going to have a path of 1. So if we decide to go left, since we've gone left once, we're going to have a path of 1. And if we decide to go right, we have gone right once, and our path is also going to be 1. So either way, right now, the longest path we've seen is going to be length 1. So let's also keep a variable to keep track of that. Let's call it path. Our longest path so far is 1. Now in left, there is no other node for us to explore, so we can't go further down. The only side we can travel now is to the right. Now with the right side, for a zigzag path, we want to alternate between the right and left side. If we continue going down to the right, we no longer can extend our zigzag path. Our zigzag path will have to reset. We can't consider the path from 1 to 9 anymore, and we'll have to restart from 9 to 4. So at 4, we know we're going to go right, but we're going to restart with a path size 1. And this is because we just came from the right, so we can't go right again. But if we were to go to the left, we know our parent was the right child of its parent. So now since we are going left, we can increment our path length. So going to node 3 will now give us a zigzag path of size 2. So at node 3, we've now crossed a total of 2 segments of our zigzag. So our longest path is now going to be size 2, from 1 to 9, then 9 to 3. Here, there's nothing else to go down, so we have to stop and end, but we can go down further from node 4. At node 4, we have a size of 1 coming down from the right from node 9. So if we go left, we can extend our path, but if we go right again, we're going to have to restart again, right? So at node 7, since we are going right, and since node 4 was right itself, we have to reset our zigzag path. So at 7, we are going down. It is a right child, but we do reset to begin again with a size of 1. From 4 to 7, we're going to start a new path of size 1. But from 4, if we go down to the left, since we were coming from the right, from 9, and now we go down to the left, we are maintaining that zigzag pattern, and we can add 1 to our total path. So at 6, we know we are the left child of our parent, and our total path right now is 2. It's not greater than what we've seen so far, so there's no need to make an update here. Now there are nodes for us to go down from 6, so we're going to do the same thing and go down them. At node 2, it's on the left child of 6, but since we were the left child of our parent, we have to restart with a size of 1. And there's nothing for us to go down further here, so we're going to stop. Now to the right, if we go down the right child, our current node that we're coming down from was a left. So here we can increment the count of our path. So for 8, we're going to the right, and because our parent wasn't right, we can add 1 to our path for a total of 3, which means we're going to update this path over here, and we're going to explore down further. This is going to be a right child of our current node. We're coming from the right though, so we can't increment our path, and we're going to reset our path to be 1. So here in this tree, the longest zigzag path was of length 3, and that was from 9 to 4, 4 to 6, and 6 to 8. This path over here had our longest zigzag path of size 3. So what did we just do for this problem? What we're doing is we're going down a path and then back up, exploring how many zigzag paths we can actually get. Now, since we are going down a path in a tree, immediately we know we want to solve this using a depth first search using recursion. Now, in order to do this, we want to keep a few things in mind. We have to keep track of if our node is coming from the right or the left. So if we are the right or left child of our parent's node, we're going to want to keep track of that. And we're also going to want to keep track of the current zigzag path that we're building. If we are in the opposite direction, if we're right and our parent was left, we can add 1 to that current path count that we are building. Otherwise, we're just going to reset it back to 1. Now that we know what to do, let's go ahead and code this up. To code this up, we know we want to keep track of our longest path. So we're going to define a variable self.path. It's going to start off with 0. It's going to keep track of the longest path we've seen so far. Now we know we want to write a recursive function. So let's go ahead and write that. It's going to be DFS. We're going to take in our current root node we're going to pass in, as well as if we are coming from the left or the right. So for that, we can just maintain a variable. Let's call it left. It's going to be true if we are coming from the left and false if we're coming from the right. We also want to keep track of our current path length. So I'm going to call that current. And now that we have all of our input parameters, how are we going to write this out? With a recursive function, there are 2 things we want to keep in mind, our base case and our recursive case. For our base case, when are we going to stop? If there are no more nodes for us to go through, we stop. So if our input node is none, we're just going to return. So if R is none, we return. Now, if it's not none, we want to know if we came from the left or the right. So if left, if we're coming from the left, then in order to continue our zigzag path, we want to go to the right. So what we're going to do is call DFS again. So we're calling DFS, and this time we're going to pass in our right node. So it's going to be r.right, and left is going to be false. We're no longer calling the left child, right? This is going to be the right child, so it's going to be false. And we're going to be able to add 1 to our current count for our length. So it's going to be cur plus 1, because we came from the left, but now we're going to the right. Now, if we also have a left child in our node, since we came from the left, we can't add 1 to our count. So it's going to be DFS of r.left. It's going to be true. We are going to the left, but we're going to have to reset our count to be 1. And if we're coming from the right, so if this is not true, if it's not left, else we're going to do the exact opposite. So DFS of r.right is going to be false. We're no longer going left. But since we did come from the right, we're going to have to reset our count to 1. Now, if we're coming from our right root and we have a left child, we're going to call DFS with r.left. We're passing in true. We are now going to the left. And we're going to add 1 to our current path because we came from the right, but we are now going left. So current plus 1. So what's happening, right? Based on whether we are coming from the left or right, we're going to make our DFS calls for our 2 children. They're going to go back in this function with an updated length. It's either going to be 1 or it's going to be 1 plus what we had before. If our root is not none, well, we also want to update our path. So self.path is going to be the max between what we have so far in self.path and what our current path is, if we either reset or if we extended it. So it's going to be current over here. And this is it. This is our DFS function. Now we want to call this with our root's right and left child. So I'm going to be calling DFS with root.right, passing in false since we're not coming from the left. And I'm passing in 1 for the count because we are coming from the right of our root. We already have that path of 1. And same thing for left. So DFS of root.left, true. We are coming from the left and passing in 1 because now we are coming from the left. We have a path of 1 right there. Once both of these functions are done executing, they're both going to update self.path based on whichever max path they've seen in either half. And in the end, all we need to do is return our self.path. It's going to store the maximum zigzag path we've seen in either half. And that is it. So let's go ahead and submit this. And it is accepted. Now talking about space and time complexity, for time, we are hitting every single node. So if there are n nodes in our tree, this is going to be O of n. And same with space, our recursive call stack could go as down as the number of nodes in our tree. So this is also going to be O of n. Now, before leaving, let's just run through a super quick example just to see how our code is going to work line by line. For our walkthrough, say we have example 2 over here. I have that pasted down below. And we just want to go through our function line by line. So the first thing we do is define our path, and it's going to start off being 0. So path is 0. Then we define this function over here, and we call it with DFS root.right first. So we're going to pass in our root node's right child, which is 1 over here. We're passing in false because we're not coming from the left. And so far we have a current length of 1, right? We have a path of 1 right here. So going back in this function, we know our root is 1, left is false, and current is 1. Since root is not none, we can't go in this if. We update self.path to be the max between what we have so far and our current path. This has a path of 1, it's bigger than 0, so we're going to go ahead and make that update. And if left, this is not true, right? We're coming from the right, so we're not going to go in this if condition. Instead, we're going in this else. The very first call we make is this function over here. We're going to call the right child of our node. Our node doesn't have a right, so that's going to be none. So we go back in this function. R is none, so we're going to return. And we just returned from this call we made over here. So the next line is another call for the left child of our node. The left child over here, this is also going to be none. This is going to be true. We are going to the left. And current was 1. So we're going to add 1 over here, which is going to make this 2. Now we go in this function. Our node is non-existent, it's none, so we're going to return. And at this point, we finished going in this function as well. There are no other lines for us to go through, so we're out of this function over here, which means so far, our path is size 1. Now the next call, we just finished going in this call over here, is going to be from the left side of our tree. So over here, we're going to call the left side of our tree, so it's going to be node 1 over here. We're passing in true, we are going to the left, and our current zigzag path is going to be length 1. Going in this function, root is not none, so we don't return. We update path. Max between what we have so far and our current path, which is 1, no updates are needed. If left, this is true. We're now going to go into this call over here. So we're going to call our node's right child. So this node over here, we're passing in false because we're not going to the left, we're going to the right. And we're passing in current plus 1. We're extending our path over here. So we're going to pass in 2. And just to write out directions as well, basically we came down to the left, which is why this was true, and now we're going to the right, which is why this is false. So going back in this function, our R is not none, this is our new R, this is our new root over here, and we know left was false, so we came from the right, and our current length is size 2. So we're in here, right, root is not none, we can't return, we update self.path, it's now going to be 2, and if left, that's not true, left is false, so we go in this else over here, and we're going to call DFS with r.right, false, and 1. So what are we doing? We're passing in our root node's right child, so right over here. It's going to be false, right? We're not coming from the left. Our current length is going to reset to be 1. We're not following that zigzag path anymore, so it's being reset. And this is going to be our new root node. Going back in this function, root is not none. We update self.path, it's 1, not greater than what we have so far. If left, that's not true, we're coming from the right. So we go in this else, and we make a call with our own node's right child. So now we're back in this function over here. Our right child doesn't exist, it's none, so we're just going to return. And since we finished this line, we're now going to go in this one over here. But again, our left child for this node is none, so we're going to return out of here as well. Which means we're back in this function up here. We just finished going through both of these lines. There's nothing else for us to go over, so we're out of this function as well. Which means we go back to our caller up here, and we had just gone down its right path, right over here, right? So now the next line to go down is this over here. We're now trying out the left path. So we're passing in this root node over here. Left is going to be true, we are going to the left child. And we're adding 1 to our current zigzag path, which is going to put us at 3. And this makes sense, right? We had a path of 1 over here, then 2 over here, and now we have 3. We're alternating directions. So now once we call this again, root is not none, so we don't return. We update path to be 3. And since we are coming to the left, we're now going to go in this if condition. We're going to call to see if we have anything in our right. So now we're going to call our root node's right child. So we're passing in 1 over here. Left is going to be false, we're going to the right. And we're adding 1 to our current count. We came to the left, but now we're going right. So current is going to be 4. Going back in this function, r is not none, we update path to now be 4. We can't go in this if, it's false, we go in this else instead. We're going to check if we have a right and left child of this node over here. Now at this node over here, we know we don't have any right or left children, so it's going to return none. So we're not going to be able to do anything at this point. We're just going to finish going through our lines of code, and we're going to get out of this function for this node, which means we're done with this, and we're going to go back up to our caller. So we return to this line over here. We had just gone in this function call for this line over here. So now we want to check out the left side. Now, if we call r.left, there is nothing on the left, so it's going to return. And there are no more lines for us to go through, so we're going to return out of our function as well. Which means we go back up to our caller over here. we had made a call to the right, and we had just finished making a call to the left. So there are no more lines for our caller to go through. So we're going to return out of here as well, which puts us at this node over here. Now, where were we for this node, right? Left was true, so we were in this if condition, and we had checked our right side. Now we want to check our left, but if we make a call for it, remember there's nothing on the left, so it's going to be none. We're just going to return, and there are no other lines for us to go through, so we're going to return as well, which means we return to our caller over here. Now, after this, we finish making this call DFS with this child, and there's nothing for us to go through anymore, and we're just going to return solve.path, which is 4. And that makes sense, right? We went 1, 2, 3, 4. We had a total zigzag path of length 4. And we are going to return that just as we were expecting. So that's all we really need to do. We just went ahead and solved the longest zigzag path in binary tree. We did it with an example walkthrough from example 2. But if you have any questions with this whatsoever, of course, let me know down below. I will answer all of them. If this video was helpful, like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really supports the channel. And as always, I will see you in the next one.